Hello, good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
I believe each and every one of you is fine.
Yes, please.
We thank God. So today, we are going to continue with our PAC prayer lectures. We've done 20 marks already out of our PAC manual. And then today we are going to take another 10 marks. If this topic is supposed to come in your examination, that alone is also going to be 10 marks. So it is very important that as we prepare for the March 2026 ICAG exams, we take into consideration all this. Today, we are going to look at a serious topic in the public sector accounting and finance. It is called stakeholder identification and analysis in the public sector. Please give me a minute. So today we are going to look at what is called stakeholder identification and analysis in the public sector. In our previous meeting, we have come to understand that we have various uses of what? The general purpose financial statement. Today, we are going to look at stakeholders in the public sector. Stakeholders in the public sector, if you say a stakeholder, it can be an individual, it can be a group, it can be an organization, it can even be an entity. And at the end of the day, don't forget that we are looking at the public sector. So we want to look at those individuals, the groups, the organization, or even entities that have interest in the public sector organization, or those entities, the individuals, the groups and organizations that are affected by the programs and policies of the public sector organization. So if you take Ministry of Defense, if you take Ministry of Finance, we are looking at the individuals who are interested in the activities, the programs, the decisions of what the ministry. And we are also looking at the individuals that the decisions and the programs of the ministry affect them. So if we take citizens, if we take parliament, if we take the media, if we take donor supporters, we are looking at how they are interested in the activities of the Ministry of Finance. We are looking at how the Ministry of Finance activity affects the media, affects the citizens, affects the parliament. So that is all about stakeholder. Now, when it comes to stakeholder identification and analysis, we are just trying to put them under a very category, or we are just trying to put them under their various types. That is the reason why we have identification and analysis. So analysis, we are coming up with a situation where we are saying that Mr. Osman is going to be under stakeholder A. Madam Tina is going to be under stakeholder B. So we are trying to come up with an analysis. That is all. But the stakeholder in public sector itself, we are looking at the individuals and the groups that are being affected by the policies of what? The public sector entity. Please, you understand?
Yes.
So stakeholder in the public sector are individuals, groups, organizations, or entities that have an interest or are affected by the government policies, programs, decisions, and activities. They play a crucial role in the functioning of public sector entities and governance processes. Stakeholders in public sector represent a diverse array of interests, perspective, and concern. Effective governance requires meaningful engagement with stakeholders to ensure that policies and decisions are inclusive, transparent, and responsive to the need of society as a whole. So if you understand what I am reading, you realize that in good governance, we said there is a need for them to have effective stakeholder engagement, right? So stakeholder engagement, at the end of the day, it also has its own reason. So we just have to know that we are looking at the individuals and the organization that are being affected, or they have interest in what? The policies of the public sector entity. Now, we have various types of stakeholders in the public sector. We have various types. We have various categories or various forms of stakeholders in the public sector. We are going to look at few here, and then once you know them, you also have to know their You have to know their need, their information need. Why do we say that these people, why do we say that government agencies and departments are stakeholders? Why are they a stakeholder? Why do we classify government agency as a stakeholder in the public sector? You look at their programs outline, we are going to look at their information need and how they affect or how they even influence the public sector entity. So we have some of them like the government agencies and then departments. So the government agencies and departments, they influence the they influence the policy implementation. So when it comes to the Ministry of Communication, they will ensure that we have stable data prices. I hope you understand. So the ministry itself is having its own programs, but the activities of the ministry is being influenced by the stakeholders. So the agencies and the departments within the ministry, you realize that they are interested in the policy implementation, the delivery of public services, and even enforcement of regulation. So we have regulatory bodies, law enforcement agencies, and even public utility agencies that the only thing that they do, in terms of having stakeholder in the public sector, they are only responsible for the implementation of policies and ensuring that the public also receive its efficient service. We also have elected officials and then politicians. So these people, they are interested in the how do you call it, the citizens. The citizens voted for them, so they represent the citizen. So if we take Bollywood boy, you realize that we have their own member of parliament. These people are the politicians or the elected officials that are there to represent the people. So they are stakeholders. They have stake. They have interest. They are being affected by the policies of the public sector entities that we have. So if it is the Ministry of, if it is the MMDA, the Metropolitan District Assembly, you realize that the activities of the politicians or the elected officials are being they are being affected. That public sector entity, the activities are being affected. The elected officials have influence. Everything that the MMDA is going to do is going to affect the elected official or the parliamentarian or the politician. So you realize that the politician becomes a stakeholder. Please, do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
And then we have other people like the civil society organization. We have citizens and then residents. We also have business and corporations. We have media outlets and then journalists. And then we also have international organization and donors. And we also have interest groups and lobby groups. So all what you have to know is that you just read about media and then journalists. Why are we saying that they are stakeholders in the public sector? What information did they gain? Why are they even interested? Are they affected by the policies of the public sector organization? So that is one thing that you are supposed to know. So these are the various forms of stakeholders that we have in the public sector. We have government agencies and departments. We have elected officials. We have civil society organization, and then we have citizens and residents. We also have businesses and corporations. We also have media outlets and journalists. We have international organizations and then donors. So the international organizations are the IMF, those that you receive foreign aid from, the IMF, the international donor supporters. Those people, they are stakeholders because they are affected by the policies of what? The public sector organization. IMF will say that let your how do you call it? Your estate rate fall within this stage or something. This let's say within 10 cities and then 12 cities. At the end of the day, they have what? They have interest in what? The public sector organization. Because if our estate rate is also supposed to go up, it is going to affect them. I hope you understand. And then
Yes.
everything that they do, it is going to also have an impact on the public sector organization. Because at the end of the day, one public sector organization is what? Let's say the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana, you can say that it's a public sector organization, right? But IMF is going to have some sort of influence. They are going to have some stake in terms of what? In terms of stakeholder analysis in what? Bank of Ghana. So that is that we are saying. We have interest group and lobby group. Those people, they are just to lobby for better services. They are just there to lobby for better services for the citizens. So that is that for the interest group and then the stakeholder group. Now, we have categories for what? Stakeholder. We have category for stakeholders in the public sector. So in the public sector, stakeholders can be categorized into three. We have the primary stakeholders, we have the secondary stakeholders, and then we have the key stakeholders. We have the primary stakeholders, we have the secondary stakeholders, and then we have the key stakeholders. When we say the primary stakeholders, these are stakeholders or we are saying that they are stakeholders or individuals or they are even group that have direct impact or the activities of the public sector organization affect them directly, either positively or negatively. So primary stakeholders are directly affected by the decisions or outcome of a project, organization, or the policies. So a typical example is what? Customers or clients. So they directly receive the service or product. Any change in price, quantity, or delivery affects what? Affect their activities. So we are saying that these people, they are the stakeholders that are what? Directly impacted, either positively or negatively. So I've given you customers. Customers, they are directly or what? Negatively affected by the activities of what? The public sector
Organization.
organization. So if there has been an increase in price, it is going to affect them positively and negatively. So you see that the effect or the activities of what? The programs or the policies of the public sector organization is going to hit these stakeholders directly. It is going to have a what? Direct impact on them, positively or negatively. Do you understand? Please, do you understand? Do you understand? We can also talk about what? Even employees. Employees, do you also agree that employees are stakeholders? Employees are stakeholders in the sense that their job, income, and working conditions are directly affected by what? The policies of what? The public sector organization. So if the public sector organization is supposed that we are supposed to lay some people off, we are supposed to promote some people, it is directly going to affect some people, either positively or negatively. So promotions are going to either affect some people positively or negatively. I've told you there are instances where there has been change of government, where some people will have their promotions for over 10 years and one party as a result of change of government will come and reverse all the promotions. So these people, they are hit directly by the activities or the reforms or the policies of what? The public sector organization. If there has been if the public sector organization is saying that we cannot pay you people, so there is supposed to be what? Lay off. We are supposed to lay some people off. You realize that it's going to hit some people directly, either positively or negatively. Please, do you understand?
Yes.
And we have secondary stakeholders. So the secondary stakeholders are those that are indirectly affected. They are those indirectly influenced, either negatively or positively, by the activities or the initiative or actions of what? The public sector entities. Please, you understand? So these people, they don't feel the direct impact, but they have an interest or some influence. So you realize that government agencies, they don't have direct what? Government agencies, you realize that if the agency is saying that, oh, we should lay some people up, you realize that these people, the agency is not going to be affected, right? The agency is not going to be affected anyway. But at the end of the day, the agency is having some sort of what? Influence. I hope you understand. So that is that. We have numerous forms. We have the media. The media is not directly impacted, but they report on what? Activities and influence public opinion. So you realize that the media, if Ministry of Communication is saying that we should lay some people off, the media is not going to be affected. These people, they are indirectly what? Affected, but positively or negatively, they have what? Influence in the what? In the organization. I hope you understand, because they are there to represent what? The public. They seek for public opinion on the layoff or the promotion that has happened. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then we also have what is called the key stakeholders. So the key stakeholders, they belong to either or neither of the aforementioned group. So they belong to either the secondary or the primary group. Please, I hope you understand. So that is that. So one thing that you are supposed to know here is that you know the definition of the key stakeholders. You know definition of what? The primary stakeholders. You know definition of what? Secondary stakeholders, and then you give examples. Why do you think these people will be classified as what? Will be classified as primary stakeholders? Why are they going to be classified as secondary stakeholders? And then why are you going to classify some as key stakeholders? The only difference is that with primary, the decisions of what? The public sector organization hits them directly, and they are affected negatively or positively. The secondary, it hit them indirectly, but they are affected negatively or what? Positively. And then the key stakeholders, they belong to either or neither. I hope you understand. So examples of key stakeholders include organizational directors, frontline staff who directly engage with participants, founders, elected or appointed agencies. So once you read the note, you come to understand what we are trying to say. Now, we have reasons for engaging stakeholders. Mr. Osman, and then
Yes, please.
not only Mr. Osman, my people, do you agree that accountability and transparency is one of the reasons why we engage stakeholders?
Yes, yes.
So if accountability and transparency, if for us to ensure there is transparency in the public sector, if there is a need for us to hold our people accountable, can we say that accountability and transparency, as Thursday, we indicated that they cut across everywhere in public sector? If you don't know any point, do you agree that that point should appear here?
Yes, please.
Mr. Ampere, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Why do you agree that transparency and accountability should appear here? Mr. Osman, you take accountability. Mr. Ampere, you take transparency. Why do you think, even if you don't know the point here, you think transparency and accountability should fall here? Mr. Osman, let's go.
Okay.
Is to ensure value for money. To
How
ensure
do you
value
ensure
for money.
value for money?
If there is transparency, I think the element of corruption and it-related vices will be minimized. And also to ensure value for money. So the right thing will be done with the scarce resources that the organization is having.
Okay. Mr. Ampre.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can we
Osman has said he was supposed to take accountability and I'm supposed to take transparency. So dealing with the stakeholders, for example, the primary stakeholders would like to know what is happening in the public entity. Therefore, the public entity owes a responsibility of being transparent, to open up its books, to open up its business, to open up its activities for the stakeholders to know what exactly is happening in there and then how they can go forward with the business that they have with them.
Yes. So we said transparency has to do with what? Being open and then making information available, right? So
Yes.
one thing that we engage stakeholders is that we want them to be open, and also we want them to provide us information. I hope you understand. Accountability. They are the people that you place them there for them to come and then spend on some programs and policies to ensure that they are going to provide efficient service delivery. At the end of the day, you have to hold them accountable for their actions and inactions. Do you agree?
Yes, please.
Tina, do you agree?
Yes, please.
Do you have any question for me?
No, please.
Okay. So why do you think we have to engage stakeholders in the public sector? Representation of interest. Stakeholders are those people that represent the interests of the general public. So there is a need for us to engage them because they represent diverse interests of group of people. There is a need for us to engage them. Legitimacy and accountability. We have already explained this. Because they are there to provide public goods and services to ensure there is efficient service delivery, we have to hold them accountable for their actions and inactions. Every decision that they take, they have to come and explain to us the reason why they took that decision. Policy development and implementation. Now, the reason why we engage stakeholders, one of the reasons is that always we implement policies, and then we also develop policies as well. So in our policy development and implementation, we have to involve the stakeholders. They will come on board. They will also bring their ideas. Stakeholders will say that if we are supposed to do it this way, it is going to affect us positively. If we do it this way, it is going to affect us negatively. That is the reason why we have to bring stakeholders, or we have to involve stakeholders. So in terms of policy development and implementation, we have to involve stakeholders. And then we also have building consensus and support. For you to benefit from other group of people, there is a need for you to engage stakeholders. Once you engage stakeholders and they have support, it can be monetary, it can be non-monetary. Stakeholders can give you their some of them can give you their expertise. They have experience in what you are trying to bring on board. So they will come up and support you in terms of experience. They will give you the experience that they need. They will give you the support and everything that they need. At the end of the day, there is supposed to be some sort of consensus between the stakeholder and the public sector organization. They come together, they all agree that this is the initiative or this is the program that you want to bring on board. Do you agree? How is it going to affect you? How is it going to affect you directly or indirectly? They all come together, they build on it, and then if there is a need for each of the parties, being the public sector entity or the other group of people to support, they also support. And it ensures inclusivity and equity. Inclusivity and equity. So stakeholders, once they are engaged, they also ensure or they feel some sort of inclusion. And then there is equity. We are not biased in everything. Stakeholders will understand the reason why you are spending 50 million Ghana cedis at one public sector, and you are spending 20,000 Ghana cedis at another public sector. So they feel inclusive, and they also come to realize that there has been fairness and equity in the distribution of resources and the management of risk and conflict. Once you engage stakeholders, you are going to reduce the risk of misunderstanding within parties. I hope you understand.
Yes.
And enhance transparency and communication. Enhance transparency and communication. So the reason why we engage stakeholder, we have what is called TRAMP as our key, as our acronym. We have what is called TRAMP as what our acronym. So TRAMP, I will stand for what? Transparency. T will stand for transparency. I will stand for what? The first point, which is what? Representing what? Representation of what? Diverse interest. I hope you understand. And then A will stand for accountability. And then this one, M, will stand for what? Management of what? Risk and conflict. And then P,
policy development.
Policy development and what? Implementation. Can we also come up with our own acronym? Can we come up with our own acronym? Can we come up with our own acronym? Can we come up with our own acronym? Or we should go according to Trump?
Trump is okay.
Trump is okay. So in terms of stakeholder analysis, we have Trump as the reason why we engage stakeholders. Bear in mind that we didn't have an acronym for this word. We didn't have acronym for the type of various types of stakeholders that we have in the public sector. This is because we believe that you remember them easily. I hope you understand. So with the reasons why we engage stakeholder, we have an acronym for it. Now, we have various models. And then, so with this one in class, I'm going to use the writing part to explain it for you to understand. But today I'm going to use our normal Word document to explain it for you to understand. But in class, I'm going to draw, and then you know where they fall. So we have models or frameworks for stakeholder analysis. There are many models and frameworks that help in identifying, categorizing, and analyzing the influence of stakeholders. Some of these are applicable in the public sector, and then we are going to look at 3 of them. The first one is Mendelow's power interest matrix, and then we have position importance matrix, and we also have what is called the stakeholder salience matrix or stakeholder salience framework. Stakeholder salience framework. When we take the ICAG old manual, you realize that this one is not inside. So this is something new that is being introduced in the manual. So we are going to take them one by one, explain for you to understand. We are going to use some public sector entities to explain for you to understand. In your ICAG manual, the concentration was mainly on the public sector, the health sector. But moving forward, we are not only looking at the health sector, you also have to take into other considerations like the MMDAs. You can take into consideration the departments and then the ministries as well. So whatever you are going to discuss here, some of them will be in relation to educational sector, some of them will be in relation to the health sector. It cuts across everywhere, so let us bear in mind. Now, we have models or frameworks for stakeholder analysis. The first one, when you say models or frameworks, you are looking at a situation where you can categorize someone under key stakeholder. You can categorize someone under secondary or primary stakeholder. I hope you understand. Or you can identify them that these are primary stakeholders, these are secondary stakeholders, these are key stakeholders. Now, the first one that you are going to look at is Mendelow's power interest. Mendelow's power interest. So the Mendelow's power interest, the power interest matrix categorizes stakeholders based on their level of power and their level of power or influence and their level of interest in the project of the decision. So here we are looking at the power of the stakeholder and the interest of the stakeholder. So, Mr. Osman, you are the president of Ghana. You are saying that you want to come up with what? The push agenda. Do you have power? Do you have interest in it? Do you have power? Do you have interest in it? So we are looking at what? The power of that very stakeholder. We are looking at the interest the person or the stakeholder is having in the project or the policy of the what? Of the public sector organization. So we have 4 quadrants. We are going to use 4 quadrants to explain for you to understand. We are going to have 4 quadrants to use to explain for you to understand. So we have instances where the stakeholder will have high power, but the stakeholder will also have what? Low, high interest in what? The policies of the organization. We have instances where the stakeholder will have high power, but the interest in the project is very low. The person is not going to have interest in the project. The person is not going to benefit from the project. The person will not even give you his mind or her mind that come up with a structure or something. So we also have situations where the stakeholders will have low power, but they are interested in the policies of the organization. And we also have a situation where the stakeholders will have what? Low power, and then they also have low interest in what? In the organization. So I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to go to our Word document and then use it to explain for you to understand. For you to understand. So the Mendel's power, can you see from the screen?
Yes.
So the Mendel's power interest, that is, we are looking at the power the stakeholder is having and the interest the stakeholder is, the interest of the project or the policy to the stakeholder. So the Mendel's power matrix is a tool that helps you understand which stakeholder matters the most in the government project or policy. It looks at 2 things. We are looking at the power, and then we are looking at the interest. So the power, we are looking at the ability of the stakeholder to influence the policy or the project. So are you having a power? When you say we are stopping the project, are you going to ensure that the project is being halted, or are you going to just say it and then it won't reach anywhere? So we are looking at the power, the ability for the person to or the entity or the stakeholder group to influence the project or the policy of the government. I hope you understand. So
Yes.
you ask, can the stakeholder stop, change, delay, or support the program? So if the person can stop the project, if the person can change the project, if the person can delete the project, it means the person is having power, right? And then we can say that example of powerful stakeholders are the Ministry of Finance, because these people are supposed to provide you with the funding. So they can stop or they can change the project. You can talk about Parliament. Parliament will go and debate on it. They can what? They can stop or they can even debate against the project. They can vote or they can vote in favor or they can vote in motion or against the project. I hope you understand. You have the Ministry of Health or Ghana Health Service. Ghana Health Service can boycott or stop or change an initiative or something that you want to bring on board. We have donor supporters, IMF. They can easily change or stop providing you with funds. And then we have the senior medical officers or something. Now, when you talk about the interest, we are looking at what? It means, this means how much the stakeholder cares about the project or how much they are affected. They are interested. Are they interested? No. Do you think at the end of the day it is going to affect them? No. Yes, no. So you look at those with high position or high position, high power, and then you look at their interest. Are they having high power? Are they having high interest in the project? Are they having high power? Are they having low interest in the project? Are they having low power? Are they having low interest in the project? So have you seen how it works? Have you seen how it works? So that is that. Now, we are saying that the stakeholder, the Mendel's power interest, we are going to use 4 quadrants to look at it. We have situations where the stakeholder will have high power, but the person also have high interest. So these stakeholders, we call them key players. Key players. So you see that I have this one here, my table here. This place is talking about what? The interest of the stakeholder. The interest of the stakeholder. And then the whole of this side, the whole of this side, the whole of this side, we are looking at what? Power. The whole of this side, we are looking at power. So we are looking at situations where the person is having what? The person is having high power and then high interest. So if the person is having high power, the person is having strong power and then high interest, we call them key players. Key players. So we have this quadrant to represent the, how do you call it? The chart that you call them what? Key players. So you see that the stakeholder will have what? High power, and then the stakeholder also have what? High interest, very high interest in what? In the project. You call them what? Key players. Now, I'm going to use some of the stakeholders that you mentioned earlier to explain to you. So let's say that these stakeholders can influence the decision and are also deeply affected. They are having much interest or high interest in what? In the project. So we can talk about what? Let's talk about the health sector. Example is the health sector. When you take the Ministry of what? Ministry of Health, they have high power, right? Ministry of Health, they have high power, right? And then they also have high.
Yes.
You
High
understand?
interest.
They have
Yes.
high power, they have high interest. So any project that we are going to have as the health sector, the Ministry of Finances, Ministry of Health is having high power in what? In the project. And at the end of the day, the Ministry of Health is also supposed to have what? High interest in the project. At the end of the day, they are having high interest because it is going to affect or influence their sector. They have high power to what? Also approve their budget. So here we call them key players. Do you understand? We call them key players. I hope you understand. You call them
Yes.
key players. Now, another example is what? The Ghana Health Service. The Ghana Health Service. They also have high power because they control the hospitals. And they also have what? High interest. Do you understand? They have high power, they have high interest. The hospital CEOs, they also have high power because they manage the hospital systems. So if what you are going to do is not going to favor them, they have the power to say that we are not going to allow you to enroll this project. And they also have high interest because at the end of the day, it is going to affect their daily operations. Please, do you understand? So here
Yes.
we call them key players. We call them key players. And then, so the only thing is that you have to involve them from the beginning, hold regular meeting, give them detailed information, listen to their inputs. And we also have some people, they have high power, and then they also have what? Low interest. Those people, they have power. When they say that we want to stop the project, they can stop the project. When they say that we want the project to continue, they can continue the project. But they have low interest. They are not affected by the project. I hope you understand. So these people, the only thing that we can do is to keep them satisfied always. We have to keep them satisfied always. We have to keep them satisfied always. So we realize that they have high power, but they have what? Low interest. I hope you understand. They have high power, here, but they have low interest. So here, you always keep them satisfied. Please, you understand? Let me give you a typical example. A typical example of Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance, they have the power to what? To provide you with the funds that you need, right? But at the end of the day, you don't have interest in the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of what? Health activities. The activities do not affect their daily operations. Are we okay? So these people, you always have to keep them satisfied. You have to satisfy them the reason why you are coming up with what? The project, the reason why they should provide you with the funding. Do you understand? Please, you agree?
Yes.
So you have the Ministry of Finance here. So the Ministry of Finance, they have the power, high power. They have high power in terms of the project. They have the power to provide you with the funding. But with the interest, they have very low interest. I hope you understand. They are not even there to use the hospital systems. So at the end of the day, they have low interest. They have no interest. The activities of the firm is not going to affect their daily operation. So we have to keep them satisfied always. If you don't keep them satisfied, are they going to provide us with the funding? No.
No.
Now, when you go to Parliament, you have the Health Committee, the Parliament Committee, the Health Committee of Parliament. They have to meet, because once they meet, they have high power, because they are hot. The Health Committee, they are interested in the health systems. But at the end of the day, the committee, are they affected by the activities of the health organization?
No.
So what do you have to do? We always have to keep them satisfied. Do we understand? We always have to keep them satisfied. How do we keep them satisfied? We give them periodic updates. You provide them high-level reports for them to what? For them to believe that the project is going to be of benefit to the entire nation or the citizens. Consult them only when necessary. Please, you understand?
Yes.
And you also have the low power and then high interest. So these people, they don't have power. They don't have power. They have low power, but they have what? High interest in what? They have high interest in the operations or the policies that you are coming to bring on board. Typical example is the doctors and nurses. The doctors and nurses, you don't have power to what? Influence the decisions of the Ministry of Health. Am I lying?
No.
Do they have power to influence the decision? They don't have power. So here they have low power, but they have high interest, because at the end of the day, the doctors and the nurses are those that they are going to what? They are going to use the systems that are going to be rolled out in the health sector. Do you understand? So these people, you always have to keep them informed about the decisions that you are taking. You have to keep them informed. Please, you understand? You
Yes.
always have to keep them informed. So they have what? They have high power, they have low power, but they have
And high interest.
they have high interest. So you have to always what? Keep them what? Informed.
Oh.
A typical example is what? The patients. They have low power. They cannot change the policy, but every day they have interest in the hospital record. How can you go to the hospital and then you won't be able to find your card? They have interest in the hospital every day, because they are affected by the records of what? The hospital. If I go to hospital and then you can't find my card, it means I have to stay there and die, right? So I have interest in the policies that you are bringing on board. But at the end of the day, I cannot influence the what? I cannot influence the decision. So how do you have to do? You always keep them informed about the decision. Please, you understand? You always keep them what? You always keep them informed. Do you understand? And you also have what is called, let's even talk about the pharmacists and the lab technicians. Do they have interest in the policies of the government? Assuming you want to come up with a new structure, a new policy that we are going to roll out all the cards on the how do you call it, on the internet or something. Do you think they have interest to change that policy? They don't have the power. They don't have the power to what? Even change, but they have high interest. I hope you understand, because the pharmacists, they are always going to what? Sell drugs to what? The people. And the activities of what? The organization, that is the implementation of the IT systems are going to be used by what? The pharmacists and the lab technicians. And always they have high interest there. But the power side, they don't have what? Any power to what? Influence the decision. So what do you have to do? We always keep them what? Informed. So how do you keep them informed? You educate them. You provide them with training. You allow feedback. Please, I hope you understand. And then we also have those that they have low power and then they have low interest. They don't do anything. They don't have any power to what? Influence the decision. At the end of the day, too, they don't have any interest in the public what? The public policies. Example is the private citizens who don't use the public hospital. We have individuals in Ghana that at the end of the day, they won't use the public hospital. And they are not also interested in the programs of what of the government in terms of health. So these people, they have what? Low interest, they have low power. They are not affected much. They don't also have interest. So they have what? We have to even give them we have to give them minimal effort. So we call them the minimal effort. We give them minimal what? Minimal effort. Please, you understand. So this is all about what? This is all about what? The quadrant that you are talking about. So it is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is it. So here we have power. We have weak power. By the end of the day, please hold on. So here we have weak power. We have weak power, and at the end of the day, you realize that we also have what? Low interest, or let's say we have what? High or low here, low power, so low power, and then we also have what? High power, right? I hope you understand. So we have low power, we have low what? Low interest. You have to always what? Give them your what? Minimal effort. Here we have high power, but we have low what? We have low interest. So we keep them informed. And then we also have high power, we have high what? Interest. They are the key players. So here you keep them satisfied. Here you keep them satisfied. And then here you keep them what? Informed. So you realize that here you use the health sector to come up with what? The quadrant. You can also have what? You can also have what? A lot of what? A lot of, how do you call it? A lot of example, like the MMDAs. You can take the citizens, you can take the what? The principal spending officer, you can take the what? The principal account holder, you can take the MP, you can take the MCE, and then you come up with what? Your quadrants. You come up with your quadrants. Can we do it? Can we do it?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So let's say we are coming up with what? The same Mendele's power matrix. We are coming up with what? Sanitation online fee system. So our focus is what? MMDAs, right? MMDAs. So our district, our focus is to come up with what? A sanitation online system where at the end of the day, the citizens are going to what? The citizens are going to pay their what? Sanitation fee online. So let us talk about what? Some of the stakeholders. Who can we talk about? So member of parliament, right? MP,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
MP.
Yes.
We can talk about MP. We can talk about who again?
The chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
We can talk about what? MCE. So please let me start a new page. So I have here the quadrant. I wanted to use it to explain to you. I was struggling with this one, the table here. So I wanted to use this one to use that this side is going to be for the interest. So we have low interest, high interest. And then this side is also going to be for what? The, how do you call it?
Power.
The power. So always bear in mind that this side is the power, this side is the power, this side is what? The interest. And then you have your high here, you have your low here, you have your low here, you have your high here, high here. I hope you understand. And then you come up with what? When we start the main classes, I'm going to use a writing board, so you won't have struggle with it. You won't have any issue with it. So that is that. So let me clean this, and then let's do our example. Let's do our. But do you understand what I'm trying to do?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we say we have the chiefs, right? We have
Chiefs.
MCE.
MC,
MCE,
DC,
DCE, and then citizens, right?
the citizens, yeah.
And then who again?
The assembly members.
Assembly members.
Mhm.
So we are going to do the same example in class for everyone to also understand, so that once we are doing it, you are going to get the concept again. So once it comes, I think when it comes to the exams and you are supposed to use an example, you just have to come up with what? Your quadrants. But at the end of the day, you explain that these people, they have interest. I will take an example, then I'll send you the question and look at how they set the question on that. Okay. So who again can we also talk about?
We can talk about the private, how do you call it, companies.
Private companies, yes.
Yes.
Who again? So should you use only this one?
Yes.
But
Okay.
the most important people to be the members of the society, those who live in the
These are
They are there,
community.
citizens.
Oh, they are there already.
the
Yeah,
citizens.
they are
Okay.
there.
All right.
So when you take the how do you call it? The MP is having what? Mr. Osman,
Yes, sir.
MP will have high what?
MP, he will have high interest.
And then
The power, his power will be high.
high
So
power,
yes.
high interest,
So
right?
they approve the funds, yes. High power, high interest.
Is it correct? Interest, is it correct? No.
No, low interest. High power, low interest.
Why do
He
they have
will have high power, low interest, the MP.
why do they have
No.
why do they have low interest? MP is your municipal.
Okay, he will have vote. Okay, he has high interest.
Please, you understand?
Yes, because of his vote.
Because of his, yes. So what do we do here? They are what? Our key players, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So let me do it this way. Yes. And then chiefs, do they have power?
Yes,
Yes,
high
they
power.
do.
And then their interest.
It's
Do
high
they have
as well.
High.
do they have the power to stop the project? Chiefs.
They
Yes,
have.
Yes, they
please.
do.
Why do they have the power to stop it?
They can decide not to give the land.
They can decide not to. No, we are coming up with sanitation online fee. We are coming up with sanitation online fee.
Okay.
They don't have the power.
So
Yes.
you don't have power, right?
They don't have.
No power. Tina, do you understand? Because this is.
I think they have high power, because what if they say they are not into it? I know, looking at the community, for example, if you take a rural community, what the chief says is what the citizens do. Unlike Accra, where
So
our
let's
chief
say
don't really have.
Let's say this one. The government is saying that all MMDAs,
Mhm.
yes, we are coming up with a sanitation collection fee, but it's going to be online. At the end of the day, it's like they prepaid. I hope you understand. Instead of you paying it to your assembly member, go and pay it online. It is a policy that the MMDA they are trying to bring it on board. I hope you understand. So
Yes.
When it comes to the policy development in the MMDA, the chiefs, they are just there to represent their citizens.
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't have power in terms of what?
Implementation.
Stopping the implementation. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
Please, do you understand? Mr. Humphrey and then Osman, do you understand?
Yes.
But they have what?
Yes,
high
sir.
interest. They have high interest.
They have high interest.
Because it's going to affect their citizens, right?
Yes, yes.
And then the interest is correct. Okay.
That's
Is the
correct.
interest correct?
Yeah.
So what do you do to them? So they have
We
high
keep
power.
them
Keep them informed.
We keep them informed. Have you seen it? The MCs,
They have high power.
They have high power, right?
Yes.
They have what? High interest. What do you do?
Keep players.
Keep players. I hope you understand.
Yes.
DCE, high power.
High power.
Please hold on. Can you continue? I'm a proud Fanti, so those that can speak Fanti. Can you continue?
Yes, please. High power.
High power, right?
Yes.
Tina, interest, high or low?
High. It's high.
High interest. Who are they?
Key players.
Citizens.
Low power.
Low power.
And then?
High interest.
Who are they? What do you do?
Keep them informed. You keep them informed.
So let me try and bring it this way. Okay. Assembly members.
They have
Low power.
No, they have high power.
They have high power. They also have high interest.
Because
They
have high power.
They don't have any power.
They have high power, right?
They have high power.
They have high power. And then let's talk about let us repeat this one here. And then private companies. Low power.
Low power, low interest.
So what do you do? Minimal what? Effort, right? Now, we are left with one. We have to get some people to what? Keep them satisfied. Those people are supposed to have what? High power, but they are supposed to have what? Low what? Or this one is supposed to be, what?
They have low power and high interest.
Low power and high interest, right?
Yes.
So, no, this one, they have low power, they have low interest. Right?
Yeah.
So, right. And then, so now we have to keep some people satisfied. That is, they have high power and then they have what? Low interest. Right? So let's try and get an example. Let's try and get.
I wanted to ask, so couldn't that be the chiefs?
The chiefs, yes, in a way, it can be so. But the chiefs, if they have high power, if they have high power and also they have high interest, it means they are becoming our key players.
No, I mean they don't have high interest at all. You get it?
Why don't they have high interest?
They have.
They have high interest because they represent the citizens.
Yes.
They represent the citizens. If your chief says that don't pay, are you going to pay to them? Unless the government come and arrest the chief, right?
Yeah.
But if we understand what we are doing, I think if we are supposed to sit down, come up with a new structure, you get all the quadrants in our heart. in our
Mhm.
work. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it is as a result of this one that you use, the example you use or something. But I want you to
We
understand the
can
picture.
use, okay, yeah.
If you want us to use another one too, no problem.
No, we can use the Ministry of Finance for the high
Sure,
power and
sure, sure,
the
sure,
low
sure, sure.
interest.
You can use the staff.
Staff.
The staff of the assembly, the staff.
Yeah, staff of the assembly, yeah, sure. You
Yes.
have what? Low power,
They
right?
have low power.
Low power.
Oh,
Mhm.
you're looking at
And then high
keep them
interest,
satisfied.
Yes.
right?
No, you're looking at
Yes.
keep them satisfied. They should have high power too, right?
Yes,
That's
they
what
have
you're
to
looking at.
yes, they have to have high power, yeah,
So they
sure.
should, yeah. So
So
the
keep them
Ministry of
satisfied.
Finance would be the
Yeah,
best.
Ministry of Finance, yes. Ministry of Finance. Or even the donor supporters.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yes,
international
yes.
supporters.
Ministry of Finance. Sorry.
Oh, IMF.
Mr. Osman, do you understand?
Yes.
Ministry of Finance. We have what? Low what?
Sir,
High power.
I disagree with it.
Why?
So we have to collect online fee. The fee, who will it go to? The money, who will it go to?
You are coming up with a system.
Mhm.
You are coming up with a
To
system to
a system
collect
to
your
collect fees,
sanitation
sanitation fees.
online.
That is money.
Yes. So
That is money
before,
that's supposed to go to the consolidated fund, which is
yes,
controlled by the Ministry of Finance. So
but
they will have high interest there.
before you come up with a system, you have to also spend money to come up with a system, right? I hope you
Yeah,
understand. So you have to take
yeah,
money from your district common fund. Who gives the
yeah.
district common fund?
And I'm
Let's
saying
say
the Ministry of Finance will have high interest there to go and collect that money right in the first place. So they will be willing to spend. And so they
yes,
will have high interest
they won't
because
have
the money
high.
is
They
coming to
won't.
them.
The Ministry of Finance. We are looking at a situation where the money will go to only the district. I hope you understand. We are not just looking at the
Okay.
broad area where at the end of the day, you have to pay a percentage to the consolidated fund. We are just
Okay.
coming up with an example where it is going to end at the district level. I hope you understand. Where it is going to end at the
Okay.
district level. Do you understand? Or even here, we can talk about what the principal. Okay, even with the principal account holder or something, spending officer, at the end of the day, the person is going to have the what. But you have to look at a situation where someone will provide us with the fund. I hope you understand. I hope you understand.
Okay.
I hope you understand. So let's put the Ministry of Finance, or you can even put Parliament there. Parliament will have what? High power, but at the end of the day, they have high interest there. And you have to keep them satisfied. You understand? So now,
Yes,
Okay.
please.
or we can even talk
Yes,
about the
please. I'm okay.
we can even talk about the committees
IMF.
that represent the what MMDAs there.
Mm,
I hope you understand. The committees that
yes.
represent the MMDAs in Parliament. They have high power, but at the end of the day, they are not the operations there are not even their operations are not affected by those people because those people they work for the Parliament. So they have what low interest there, and you have to keep them satisfied.
Then we can use the government appointees.
Government appointees.
Yes.
I hope you understand.
Yes.
Please, are you all okay?
Yes, please.
Are you all okay?
Yeah.
Or we can even use committee to the parliament committee. They have what high power, but they are having low interest, and we have to keep them what satisfied.
Yes. So,
Agree.
yes.
We have high
Power, low interest.
interest. So we have to what keep them what
Satisfied.
Satisfied.
you understand. Okay, let's talk about what parliament what committee, right? Let's talk about parliament committee. I'm coming. committee, right? High power, low interest, right?
Yes.
And you have to keep them all satisfied, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now, at least we have two for each, right? We have two or more than two for each. I hope you understand.
Yes.
Are you okay?
We are okay.
Go to the next one. Can you go to the next one? Can you go to the next one?
Yes, please.
Okay. So our next one is what? Our next one has to do with
Position.
Position importance what metrics.
Matrix.
Position importance metrics. Now this framework, we are looking at a situation where you are important in the organization, but you either support or you oppose. You either support or you oppose. I hope you understand. You are either going to support or you oppose the project. But at the end of the day, we are also looking at your position in the what? In the entity. So if it is Ministry of Health, we look at Ministry of Health, your position in the organization. Do Ministry of Health oppose the program or they support the program? I hope you understand.
Yes.
So this framework is designed to manage stakeholders based on their significance and support regarding the specific matter. Stakeholders are placed within the grid based on their anticipated level of backing and relevance to the whole issue. So it's either you support or you oppose the project or the policy. But at the end of the day, we have to consider your importance in the organization as well. So they are being grouped under what? Under four stakeholders. We have what? Antagonistic stakeholders. We have what? The problematic stakeholders. We have the advocacy stakeholders or the supporters. And we have low priority stakeholders. So this one, the antagonistic, much effort is required to obtain their buy-in to what? Their buy-in into what? Ensure the success of what? The program. And then problematic, these are stakeholders that oppose the policy or the what? Program strongly, even though they are what? Of low importance. So here you have low importance in the organization. You are not regarded as much in the what? In the organization. But at the end of the day, you still oppose the what? The program. We say you are what? Problematic. At the end of we are going to talk about what the antagonistic for you to understand. But you understand what you are saying. You are not important in the organization, but at the end of the day, you are opposing the project strongly. At the end of the day, you are problematic. You understand? Please, you understand?
Yes.
And then we have advocacy. So these people, they support the project strongly, and they also they are what of what considerable importance in the organization. So we call them supporters. So if it is the Mendel's metrics, who are these people? The key players, right? The key players,
Yeah,
because
they
they
keep
have
there.
high power, they have high interest. So here too, you have what high importance in the organization, and you also what agree to what or support the policy or the program of the entity. And then here, low priority, you have what they support the program, but they have what little importance. I hope you understand. So we call them what the low priority. So let's trace through this one for you to understand. So you realize that the position important matrix, we are looking at the health sector example, like what we did in the Mendola style or something. So scenario, the government introduces a national electronic health record system, e-health. So we are going to keep all the records on on the internet. So just like the Mendolas, here you have what? Antagonistic stakeholders, we have what? Problematic stakeholders, we have advocacy stakeholders, we have low priority stakeholders. And then we are saying that these people, they oppose the program, they oppose the project, but they have what? High importance. antagonistic. They are very high in the what. They are very important in what in the organization, but they strongly what oppose the project. I hope you understand. So
Yes.
these stakeholders do not support the e-health system, but the system cannot succeed without them. So the main example, the Ghana Registered Nurses and what Midwife Association, some of what the senior or doctors at the regional and the teaching hospital, and then health service workers. So here, some of these people, they will oppose it. Why do you think they will oppose it? Because they have to go under training. They have to go under training. They are also afraid of workload. I hope you understand. But at the end of the day, you are of importance in the organization. If you don't use the e-health system, you are going to delay the work of the health organization. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand? So that is it. So we are saying that they oppose it strongly. They oppose the project strongly, but they have what high importance in the organization.
Important in the organization.
We call them what antagonistic. And then so here, because they are hot, they are high important because they use the system daily, they may oppose it because of what? The fear of what? Increase in workload, lack of training, fear of job monitoring or accountability, anxiety about change in what routine. Do you agree to what you have here?
Yes.
Do you agree to what you have here?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have what problematic. You are not of importance, but still you oppose the project. So these stakeholders do not support the project. That is, they oppose the project, and then but their opposition does not even threaten the success of what the project. So a typical example is what the private sector organizations that you talked under what under Mendel's metrics. Do you understand? You are not going to use the public health services. At the end of the day, you don't want to support it, so you oppose it, and at the end of the day, you still have no importance to you are not of importance to the public sector organization. So these ones we call them problematic stakeholders. So if it is the Mendel's metrics, you are going to give them a minimal effort.
Minimal effort.
Do you understand? I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you
So I
move
was responding to your, do you understand?
Okay,
Yes,
can you
sir.
move on? Okay. Mr.
Oh,
Andrew.
okay.
Yeah, madam. Yes.
Oh, okay. Please, I wanted to ask the problematic stakeholders. Can we say, looking at our current, how do you call it, the parliaments with the minority and the majority, can we say the minority is also part because they always oppose the policy? And looking at their number as it stands now, they are of actually low importance
So
when it comes to the policy.
I think minority, what is happening right now is going to be antagonistic. At the end of the day, we are coming up with what? If I'm just making a suggestion, at the end of the day, our assess if it is correct. At the end of the day, we are coming up with what? Efficient service delivery. We want to ensure that the citizens get the better services that they need. You have high importance. If you vote in favor of what is going on, the citizens are going to benefit, but still you are opposing it. So it means you are antagonistic. I hope you understand. So in a way, we will say that the minority leader is becoming antagonistic in some way. You have a high importance, but at the end of the day, because you are minority, you still want to oppose the project. Do we agree?
Yes.
No,
Do we agree?
no, sir. No, sir.
Yes, sir. Please let's come with your suggestion.
Sir, under Tine's circumstances, the minority is of no importance in Parliament as it stands now.
They are there to represent the people. Let us put the how do you call it, of importance or something aside. We are looking at a situation where they are supposed to provide services to the people. Being it, they are there to represent the citizen in terms of you being a member of parliament.
They are important.
I hope you understand. They are important,
Yes.
but when it comes to the service delivery, We are bringing 24 hours economy. It is something that is going to benefit the citizens, free SHS. It is something that is going to benefit the citizens. By the end of the day, you are opposing it in terms of what? Vote.
Oh, okay. So please, my question was, currently what we have in Parliament, you see, they said they do not support the system, but the system cannot succeed without them. But with the numbers but with the numbers that we have in Parliament now, whether they support or not, the system will still
it is going to go on. I hope you understand.
without
Yes.
them. Exactly. Yes. So I'm asking, looking at the number. So before, we could all say that the minority were all the antagonistic stakeholders, but now with the current state of Parliament, we could put them under problematic, because whether they vote
whether you have
or without,
yes,
the policy will succeed.
They are not problematic.
Yes.
Yes.
They are not problematic in a way that
they are antagonistic.
They are not problematic. In terms of the minority only, if you are considering the minority only,
yes,
only the minority. Fine. If you are opposing, fine. When it comes to voting for minority only, you are not of importance, because this one will succeed you. But if you are considering both the majority and then the minority, we are saying that you have no importance when it comes to voting. Even the minority does not fall here, because the minority are going to vote in favor of the service delivery. We can talk about we can talk about is it the clerk or something? The clerk to the parliament. Yes,
Let me clarify it so that Madam Tina will understand. You see,
sure.
Some committees in Parliament is chaired by the minority.
Yes.
The Public Accounts Committee is stipulated that it must be chaired by a minority. So they are rather antagonistic, not problematic.
Yes.
Yes.
So in terms of what is going on, the minority is becoming antagonistic because you have high importance in terms of service delivery to the citizens.
Yes,
but you are opposing it.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the problematic, you don't have importance, like the clerk or something.
Yes.
You are not going to vote, you are not going to do anything. But at the end of the day, you grant interviews and then oppose the project.
Yes.
You understand? So the clerk becomes a problematic here. You are not of importance to whether you accept it or not. At the end of the day, everything will go on. But still, you grant interviews and oppose it.
Oppose it.
I hope you understand.
Yes.
Madam Tina, do you understand?
Yes, please, I understand.
So if you consider the entire minority as a whole, they have importance because their votes really count. That is why they are important. They are there to represent the citizens. But every day they are opposing the projects of the government. It means they are
important.
Yes, they are trying to hinder the success of the service delivery, right? So we become antagonistic. So the problematic, you have no importance. You have no importance, but always you are opposing it. So a typical example when it comes to like what happened recently. The Ashanti regional minister. You have no importance to vote in Parliament, but you went there, and at the end of the day, you were talking. So the policy, or maybe let's say, assuming the Ashanti regional minister is supposed to be a minority, it's supposed to be at the minority side. You don't vote at the Parliament, but at the end of the day, you still went there to oppose the budget. So you are becoming a problematic stakeholder. But let's bear in mind that these things, we are not looking at outside the box. We are looking at inside the box. I hope you understand. We are looking at those within the public sector, the health sector. Madam, do you understand? So everything that we are going to do is supposed to be within the health sector that we are discussing. Agreed?
Yes.
So when you take the public, small private clinics, these people, they are within the public sector that we are discussing, right? You are not of importance to the record system that you are trying to rule. But at the end of the day, you are there to oppose it. So you are a problematic stakeholder. Private diagnostic centers, Dr. Amuzu, you are a private sector, a private health sector. You are not of importance to our rural system that e-health system that you are trying to bring on board. But we are granting interviews, opposing, and then disagreeing with government initiatives. At the end of the day, you are a problematic stakeholder in the health sector. You understand?
Yes.
Small activist groups worried about data privacy. If it is Parliament of Ghana, we can talk about RAF. We can talk about RAF, what he did under MPP government. He is always a problematic stakeholder. Do you agree? Madam Tina, in relation to your question, do you agree?
Please, who is he?
I think he's a social activist or something. That guy with dreadlocks or something. At the end of the day, you have no importance to what Parliament is doing, but you still go ahead, take pictures of National Cathedral, come and then oppose the government just like that. You are a problematic stakeholder. So the small activist group worried about data privacy, that they are not going to keep the data raw, the records are not going to be kept raw. So you have no importance to the decision making, but still you are opposing it. You are a problematic stakeholder. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then we have the advocacy. They support it. The Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, doctors, the health hospital doctor, hospital medical doctors. They are hot, the supporters. So if it is Mendules, here is what keep them key players. You understand? So here they support it fully that when it comes, it's going to reduce the workload. Everything is going to be done online, and then they have high importance. They vote to what is going on. If the Ministry of Health is supposed to say that you're not coming up with a system, can they rule out the e-health service? No. Do we understand now? Do we understand? Can we move on? Can we move on?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the last one is what? The low priority. So here they support it, but at the end of the day, they have low importance. So they support it, they have what? Low importance. So the health NGOs, they support the digitization or something, but at the end of the day, they are low important. If they talk, they don't reach anywhere. I hope you understand. Patient group, at the end of the day, their records are going to be kept well, but if they talk, it won't reach anywhere. They are not going to be, they are not of importance to the decision of the the Ministry of Health. I hope you understand.
Yes.
So that is that. So in exams, they can ask you to what, explain these, how do you call it, these frameworks. So first, you just have to talk about the meaning. Let me see if I'll be able to bring something. So you talk about the meaning, and then you say that if it is Mendel's, you say that it is under what? It is based on what? Four quadrants, right? I hope you understand. You talk about the four quadrants. Okay, so let's say we have the meaning. Let me do it this way for you to understand. So you have the meaning. You talk about the four quadrants, and then you give examples. I hope you understand. You give example. If it is position, importance, you talk about what? The meaning. You talk about the types. You give examples. I hope you understand. So that is that. I think there is a question in the question mark. I'll look at how they set it. The question was in relation to the health service, so we will look at it as well. I think tomorrow you should be able to look at it, and then you'll be okay. Now the last one is the salience stakeholder salient framework. If you say stakeholder salient, if you say someone is salient, it means that you are what? You are regarded as what? Very, very important in something, in decision making. So here we are saying that stakeholders are what? We say stakeholders are very salient when they possess some attribute, when they possess the attribute of power, when they possess the attribute of what? Legitimacy and agency. Stakeholders are, you become salient once you possess this what? Attribute. Now, we say that they are grouped under what? High, how do you call it? We have high stakeholder group, we have low stakeholder group, and then we have moderate stakeholder group. So you become high salient in this area when you have all the three attributes, and you become moderate when you have what? Only two attributes. So we have the power, we have the legitimacy, we have the agency. So once you are a stakeholder and you possess all the three attributes, we say that you are high important, or you are very high salient or stakeholder. If you possess only two, if you have legitimacy, if you have agency, you are what? Moderate. If you have power and agency, you are what? Moderate. If you have power and legitimacy, you are what? Moderate. But if you possess only one of the attributes, you say you are what? Low salient stakeholder. And if you have all the three types of what? Attributes, you call you to be what? Definitive stakeholder. If you are what? Possessing two of what? The attribute, we say you are what? Expectant stakeholder. And then if you are possessing only one, we say you are what? Latent stakeholder. That's about what? The salient stakeholder. So the salient stakeholder groups stakeholders under what? Three attributes. You have the power, you have the legitimacy, you have the agency. So if you say power, the power is the ability for the stakeholder to influence the outcome of the project. And then we have legitimacy. Legitimacy is the perception that the stakeholder has a valid claim or right to be involved. You have the right to be involved. You are legitimate to be what? Involved in the decision making. But the power, you have the ability to what? Influence or affect the outcome of the project. And then the agency is the extent to which stakeholder demands or expectation requires immediate what? Attention. So once you are a stakeholder where you feel that you have the legitimate power to be involved in what? In decision making, and then at the same time you have the power to what? Influence the decision making, and you need the what? You have expectations, or you want your expectations to be what? Met urgently. You say that you are a stakeholder with high salient. If you have only two of these attributes, you are saying that you are moderate, and you have only one attribute, you are saying that you have low salient. And if you have three, if you have all the three, we are saying that you are a definitive stakeholder. If you have only two, we are saying you are expectant. And if you have only one, we are saying that you are latent stakeholder. Any question? Any question? But please do understand what you have done today.
Yes.
And then the last thing that you're going to do is what? The steps in stakeholder analysis. I think this last sitting or something, one of the sittings, I think it's either they are yet to test it or I've seen it in one of the past questions. So they ask you to state the, how do you call it? The steps in stakeholder analysis. So you identify the stakeholder. So begin by identify the individual, the group and organization that have an interest or may be impacted by the project or the decision. You gather information, you collect information about the stakeholder, the level of influence, its interest, their rules, and the rest. And then you also talk about analyze the stakeholder attributes. You analyze it. How do you analyze it? By using focus groups. You gather information, conduct interviews, and the rest. And you prioritize the stakeholders based on their level of interest and then their level of influence. And then you develop engagement strategies. You implement the engagement strategies or activities. You monitor, evaluate, and adjust the strategies. So here we have to try and come up with a keyword or an acronym. acronym. Can we come up with an acronym? The steps are supposed to follow one another, so we have to know the steps follow one another. So let's see if, I don't know if I have, so we are going to have what is called IG, A, P, D, I, M. So can we mention it for us to come up with a word? I G, A.
them.
Please come again.
That's I got them, which is not a word.
them. Okay, I got them. Like this, right?
Yes, please.
Guys, you understand? Do you agree? Sorry, do you agree? Guys, do you agree? Mr. Osman?
I'm still analyzing it.
I think it's a way, so I got them. I think it's a way, so we can.
I got them.
Yes, I got them. I think it's a way, so we can accept it. And then it's supposed to follow one another, so we cannot also misplace or change them. I think that is a steps in
it must follow as it is.
Yes. So you have Trump. Today you have Trump, right?
Yeah, we have Trump.
We have Trump, and then I got them. So I think yes, I think today. So Trump is for the reasons why we involve stakeholder. So we are saying we have transparency. We have what? This one is what? Representing interests of other stakeholders. Yes. Accountability, risk management, and then this one is what? Policy development and implementation. And then AGAP them. You identify the stakeholder, gather information, you analyze, you prioritize, you develop strategies, you implement and monitor what? The strategies. I don't know. Let me save these documents, and then I'll be able to share them with you. Mr. Ampre, do you understand?
Yes, sir, I understand. Just that I got them. Well, so I got them. So what I am doing is I am taking it from this point of view that we are taking steps to analyze the stakeholder.
Yes.
So the assumption is we don't know the stakeholder. So one, we must identify who the stakeholder is.
Yes, sure.
After identifying the stakeholder, we must gather information about that particular stakeholder.
Sure.
When we have gathered the information, we sift through and analyze the information we have gathered about the stakeholder.
Yes.
And then now that we have done all those analysis, we can then come up and say that, oh, we are prioritizing this stakeholder because probably he has influence or he has some interest or something.
Sure.
So if we are able to let the story flow like that, we can easily catch it. But
so,
this gap,
what you will do is you record your story, put it on the platform for people to benefit. Guys, you agree?
Yes.
Yes,
so
please.
You record your story.
Tina has a better voice. Let her do it.
No.
The story is expatiating the AGAP then.
Yes. So the AGAP them, I think you've done a great job.
Identification.
Yes, identification. You gather, analyze, prioritize, develop, implement, and monitor. Once you are able to come up with your first keywords, the rest will be stakeholder. And then the DIM, is going to be develop stakeholder activities, implement stakeholder activity, monitor stakeholder activities. That is all. So once you see that you monitor, evaluate, and adjust strategy, so you can represent activities by all using this one. And then that is that. So you realize that develop engagement strategy. So you develop stakeholder strategies. You implement stakeholder strategies or activities. You monitor stakeholder strategies or activities.
implement activity.
So how do you monitor? You monitor by what? Checking the do's and don'ts, or the ways that things are affecting us, and you improve on that. So you monitor, you evaluate, and what you adjust. I hope you understand. So it's more of controlling something. So you come up with your variance analysis, why they occurred, and then you build on them. Do you understand? That is why you have monitor, evaluate, and what adjust. So, Mr. Ampre, in your definition, you should be able to talk about your controls. So you monitor, you evaluate, and you adjust the strategies, because at the end of the day, not all the strategies are going to be of perfect to you. So you have to evaluate the reason why they were not perfect, and then you adjust them to be perfect. You understand? Please, you understand? Any question
Yes,
for
sir.
me? Any question for me?
Sir, so please, this one too is another 10 marks.
This one is another 10 marks. So this one too is another 10 marks. So you realize that
It
what
means
you've taken,
we have 30 marks.
yeah, so we have 13 marks. So one thing is that they can either decide to bring this one, or they can decide to bring the governance that we did. I hope you understand.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
from the beginning, I told you that from the governance aspect, you have 30 marks there. Like it is 10 marks, 10 marks, 10 marks. But they can decide to take 10 marks from any angle and bring it. So what you are going to do next is going to be about the internal and external audits. But we are going to look at some regulatory bodies and then their function. You are going to look at Bank of Ghana, the Internal Audit Agency, and the rest, the SIGA and the rest. You look at their functions, and then we end with the internal and external audit. Then maybe the main classes, we start with our PFM. So by the time you even finish with the one that you are going to do, then it means that exams, you are going to get about 20 marks there, because they will pick 10 marks either from governance, they will pick 10 marks either from what? Stakeholder analysis, or they will pick 10 marks either from what? The internal and external audit.
Okay.
I hope you understand. So, but the 10 marks is assured under this one, the conceptual framework.
Okay.
That's it. So by the time you finish, you have your 40 marks questions answered. So if they are supposed to bring any of the 10 marks, you will be okay. Now, under this one, I think I have an example for you. The salience, this one. So I'll read it for you to read it. I'll read it for you to read it. But don't forget that you are supposed to come up with more examples. So I've given you some sectors here. You have the agricultural sector, you have the transport sector, you have the energy sector, that is ECG or GAICO, you have the local government, even the local government, you've solved it, so it is out. But try and link it to all the sectors. You can even talk about let's talk about the departments and agencies, right? Ministry, departments, and what? Agency, MDAs, right? I hope you understand.
Yes.
So, or that one, you even have it here. So that is that. So any sector that will come in mind that you think is a public sector entity, you can bring that example on board. If there is a need for us to discuss on the platform, we can discuss on the platform. If I have to do some 1-hour classes for you, I'll send you the link, and then maybe we'll talk about it. We'll discuss for you to understand. But from here, I'll send you this one, the question mark questions. We are going to go through the question mark, and then you realize that whatever that you discussed today, when you take the past question or the question mark, you look at how the questions have been asked. But you have to meet and then solve the past questions. Or maybe we can wait. Once we are done with our last topic, then we gather and solve the past questions together.
Okay.
So let me end the class, and we have our personal discussion.